we are jumping into a press conference that started, so I apologize for being just a little bit late. But Mayor Greenberg is giving special recognition to UofL women's volleyball team for a special ceremony recognizing the team's 2024 season and the runner-up finish in the NCAA tournament. So right now, that's getting started. And after this press conference is done, he's also going to be holding another briefing talking about the woman who recently was running across the 2nd Street Bridge, noticed a man who was having a mental health crisis, called police, and they were able to save this man from jumping over the bridge. So 2 things happening today. So let's jump in.
With alumni from the University of Louisville women's volleyball team doing amazing things, from your own staff and Sarah to, for example, in my area, the principal of the Echo Trail Middle School, Kara Amerman, is an alumni and was a player. Well, now she's been the principal now at 2 middle schools in JCPS and has influenced the lives and the education of now thousands of children in this community. And she's taken that same excellence and the same thing she learned in doing what you're doing into the rest of her life. So all I can say is thank you for everything you've done. Congratulations, thank you to the coaching staff. I can't wait to see what this next season brings. And speaking of pro sports, by the way, I need to figure out why the hell we don't have a pro women's volleyball team in this damn city.
Working on it.
Yes, we got to work on that. Thanks very much, everybody. See you soon.
Thank you so much, Councilman. You all are amazing leaders in your own right on the court, in the classroom, with what you all have accomplished. And I want to bring up another great leader in our community that you all know incredibly well, and that is the UofL Athletic Director, my good friend, Josh Hurt.
Thanks so much for everybody being here and get my phone so it's the right way. First of all, I think it's appropriate sharing that video honoring this team on National Girl and Women's Sports Day. Yes, I don't know if that's, and that's the day where we get to celebrate and honor the accomplishments of not just this team, but all of the women and the girls that are doing great things out there on the field and the court and the pool and track and wherever it may be. But really for me, this is just a few minutes for me to say thank you. Thank you, Mayor, for having us today. Thank you to this city. And I've got to start with the Visitors and Conventions Bureau, the Sports Commission, all of the volunteers that helped us put on a Final Four. I think lost in all of these young women competing here was the fact that the eyes of the volleyball, not the volleyball world, really the sports world, were on Louisville for an entire weekend, the final match on ABC for the first time ever. And for the entire country to see the city of Louisville and see 22,000 people in that arena, it did wonders for our city. So we'd just like to say thank you to everybody who helped, our staff, Amy, I could go on and on about all the people on the UofL staff that helped get us through the tournament that weekend, everything. Our coaching staff, Danny, Dan, Todd, Sarah, Cece, everything that you guys did to put this amazing team together, and then obviously the run to the championship match. And then most importantly, the young women on this team, what you did to just capture the imagination and the minds and the spirit of this city, this state, truly, truly unbelievable. And I don't think I've had the chance to just stand in front of you, and I know some of them aren't here, to just say thank you for the way that you represent the university, the way that you represent the athletic department and this team. I can't ask for more from a group of women. So like I said, this was really not an opportunity for me to just say thank you to a bunch of people for a fantastic run. And with that, I'm going to turn the mic over to a soon-to-be UofL graduate, Kara Crescent.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us today. This is so awesome, and this past season was just amazing, and the amazing people, the special group we had this year with the players, the coaches, staff, and Card Nation was just so awesome. We felt the support all the way, and we just thank you guys so much. I remember stepping off the bus about to play the Final Four game and just walking through the tunnel of fans, and it was just such a surreal feeling. And just a display of all the support we felt through not just this season, but all the seasons prior as well. So thank you guys so much, and we're really looking forward to next season. Go Cards!
So if everyone on the team can come join Kara and all of us, just for a quick two things. One is we have, I am the father of boys, but we understand luggage tags when you travel. We've got a little celebratory backpack tag for you guys as you go. But more importantly, on behalf of the entire city of Louisville, one of the great joys and pleasures as mayor is to be able to declare the days, certain days in honor of certain people who have done great things around our city. What you all accomplished requires far more than a day. And so we are proclaiming throughout the entire city of Louisville that February is University of Louisville Women's Volleyball Month. Congratulations on all of your amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I hear some of you guys have class, so I think if you all have to leave, that's totally okay. We understand. Oh, I should ask, are there, are we going to take any questions? The media questions for Kara or Josh or about anything else related to that? Good. All right, great. Thank you all so much. So we're going to continue on. Yeah, have a great day, guys. Thank you all so much. Congratulations, and here's the next season. It's great to be able to celebrate amazing accomplishments like that and so many others that happen all across our city on a regular basis. Not many as wonderful and unique as that. But to have accomplishments and celebrations like that, that's one of the many reasons why we in our administration continue to focus on public safety as a top priority throughout our entire community. We want everyone, whether you're coming downtown to the Young Center, whether you're at your home, walking around your neighborhood, playing volleyball in a park, to be safe and to feel safe in every neighborhood that you're in. And so I just want to share some of the progress that's being made in this area. We have incredible momentum as we continue to work to address violent crime in our community and make Louisville a safer place. And today I'm happy to report some very positive numbers that show the decrease in violent crime that's happening so far this year in our city. First, we'll talk about homicides. Homicides, this is just through January, so I know we're just getting started, but this is evidence of the positive momentum that we are seeing. Our homicide totals are down significantly over the past couple of years. Currently, our numbers are the lowest they've been since 2019. And also non-fatal shootings as well. You can see as well, down over 50% non-fatal shootings. Incredible momentum that we have working to make our city safer for everyone. But let me be clear. Today is not a day to celebrate these numbers. We're celebrating other things in our community today, but not these numbers. There's still a lot of work to do. There is still too much violent crime that is happening. There always will be. We need to continue to work hard to get these numbers down even further. But we are pleased with the momentum, and we're going to continue to work hard with LMPD, hiring more police officers, continuing to invest in various programs that address gun violence and the root causes of poverty. And we're going to continue to crack down on violent criminals who destroy others' lives and tears family apart. Together, we will continue this positive momentum, continuing to improve the safety all across our entire city. So we still have a lot of work to do, but I'm encouraged by the momentum that we are seeing. So speaking of public safety, sometimes we talk about numbers, but really it's about people. It's about people helping other people. And we see that time after time. Part of the reason our shootings are down is because of the hard work of LMPD and the work they're doing to interact with members of the community. They and other people throughout our community do so much more as well. And so we want to highlight another area where a citizen and an LMPD officer came together to really, with an act of heroism, selflessness, concern, and courage, to help someone else in our community who was in need. The first person who was helped is a man whose name we won't share right now to protect his privacy. He was suffering a serious mental health crisis. He was on the 2nd Street Bridge and thinking about ending his life. And a woman here with us today, where did Kristen go? Oh, there, Kristen. Come on up, Kristen. And a woman here with us today, Kristen Keeling, was jogging across the bridge. Kristen didn't know this man, but she could see he was in distress. She could have kept jogging on, but Kristen didn't. She stopped and asked him, "What's on your heart?" He responded and then took steps to move towards going over the bridge. And Kristen put herself in his way, put herself at risk to keep him from going over the other side, to keep him alive, not once, but twice. 911 was called and another one of our guests here today arrived. LMPD Detective Kyle Willis, come on up, Detective Willis, who responded to the call. Detective Willis was actually supposed to be off that day, but thankfully, he was working. If I can direct you to the screen to take a look at what happened next.
On that group, I have a few that might be able to stay on the drive.
Someone said about that. I'm not seeing on the bridge. We'll get some cars up here. Hey, no, it's okay. It's okay. Hey. You come on, radio over here, press the button. Press the button right there. This, right here, press the orange button. Press the orange button. Now, hold it down. Press the orange button, hold it down. Someone help me now! Sure, look back, okay?
What you see there is a true act of heroism by two people in our community. Two people in our community who care so much about others and were there to help someone else in crisis. The story doesn't end there. Detective Willis went to visit this man, to listen to his story, to offer support and encouragement as he moves forward in life. And now, thanks to the heroism of Kristen and Detective Willis, this man who almost ended his life has the chance at a new life. Together, they saved a life in giving someone a second chance. We are so inspired by both of your all's act of heroism and thrilled that you are with us here today. So to talk a little bit more about this, you'll hear from both. But first, let me introduce LMPD Detective Kyle Willis.
So being a LMPD officer, we often deal with a lot of traumatic incidents. This being just one of the many that we deal with, all police officers do a great job in it. I think what made this one just a little bit unique in this is that the community helped, and I asked for the community's help because we need the community's help. especially dealing with crime and dealing with incidents such as this. And when you see me on that video, when I first get out of that car and telling that man and telling Kristen that it's okay, saying it's okay to them, saying it's okay to me, it's just pretty traumatic. But she did phenomenal. She's the hero today. I come to work, I put on this uniform. I know what I'm getting into. She stopped. 100 cars passed this man, but she decided to stop and ask him what's on his heart. That is very rare. And to have someone like that in this community, we have to cherish that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Detective. And now I'd like to introduce Kristen Keeling to also share a little bit what was on her mind that day. Kristen, on behalf of everyone in Louisville, thank you so much.
Good morning. I think it says a lot about our mayor and our city that this story just matters to so many people. I think even people that watch the clip, we just feel it so deeply. I think that just says a lot about us as a community, and I think for us, like we were there one day, but we need to remember, like, there's people around us where this is their everyday lives. There may be like mental health struggles. So I think the beauty of the story is like just a simple act of like stopping and checking. It probably won't end in this dramatic way, but it really does make a difference. So I just think I see the need to really care for each person. We don't care, their background, where they're from, who they are. We need to value each person and really be the community for each other. And I will say I'm just so thankful for Detective Kyle. And I think I'll hear his voice, like, it's okay for the rest of my life. He showed up and he really, he gave it everything he had. And we got to see the difference that actually saved a life last week. So yeah, that's what I have to say. Just keep checking on your neighbors, go outside, take a walk, and look out for each other. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kristen. Take a walk, or in your case, a run. And I might add, as a runner, I mean, this was not a short run Kristen was on. She lives in Old Louisville, so she does not live right around the 2nd Street Bridge. That was in the middle of a good, healthy run there. We have one additional speaker to introduce today as well, someone who just had the opportunity to meet Kristen and Detective Willis, along with other members of her family. And Michelle, if you and your sisters want to come on up. We're joined here today by this man's 3 sisters, one of whom you're going to hear from today is Michelle Littlejohn. And she is here with her family and would like to say a few words on their behalf as well. Thank you, Michelle, for you and your family for joining us as well.
On behalf of my brother, my entire family, we are forever grateful for what Kristen and Kyle has done. Also, the citizen who was there to help them. Our brother is currently seeking treatment for his mental illness. It's a long road. It's been a long road. All I really know to say is thank you all. We are forever grateful. Yes.
Thank you all so much. These proclamations don't do this act of heroism nearly enough, but it is my honor. I'm so glad that you all here, please stand to join me here today to proclaim that both Detective Willis and Kristen Keeling, as incredibly, immensely distinguished citizens in our city, for this act of heroism and this act of care, of love, of kindness that they show today. I know other people all around our city, and LMPD and citizens like Kristen, do this work as well. I hope this encourages people, as Kristen said, to reach out to others, lend that helping hand even more. You truly are making a difference. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. So it is truly an honor to conclude today just with reflections upon two great celebrations for very different reasons in our community. But we live in a special place here in Louisville, and you just saw two great examples of how special Louisville is. Special in the feats of athleticism and leadership that we saw from the UofL women's volleyball team, and special to have people like Detective Willis and Kristen who are there to help others who are in crisis. Thank you all very much, and with that, I'm happy to take questions from the media on any topics you all might have.
Mayor Greenberg, could you just respond to the Inspector General's report? LMPD obviously very publicly dismissing a lot of the accusations made in that report yesterday. If you could just share your thoughts on that.
Sure. The question was about the Inspector General's report and LMPD's response and Chief Humphrey's response to that report yesterday. The Inspector General and the Civilian Review and Accountability Board play a very important role in our community. A very important role that needs to continue as we move forward in the years ahead. When allegations are made, I hope that they are made with accuracy and detail and thoroughness. And I think if accusations are made, whether it's in this contact or others that are not correct, correcting the record is also important. And so I'm pleased that Chief Humphrey had an opportunity to provide LMPD's response to all of those serious allegations were made and to provide much more detail. I now feel that we are in a place where we can again continue to move forward. We're working every day. You see officers like Detective Willis, they're out there in the community doing great work every day that continue to work to improve the trust between LMPD and the community that they serve. The Inspector General plays an important role in that, but when accusations are made that are not accurate, I think it's also important to correct the record so we can continue to build and strengthen that trust.
And could you just address that? Maybe there's some public perception that the Inspector General's office is there to make LMPD's job harder or paint them in a bad light.
The question was about the Officer of the Inspector General's role. It is very clear what the Officer of the Inspector General's role in the Civilian Review and Accountability Board role is. They are there to investigate complaints that have been filed by civilians about their interactions with LMPD, provide those reports publicly into LMPD for response and follow-up. That process was followed here. As the Chief mentioned, there are ways that we're going to work on enhanced communication between those two organizations as we move forward. But that process happened here, and we'll move forward. Again, I think it's very important, plays an important role. It's important that we also get the facts right. Yes.
Part of your administration, a priority in your administration has been to deal with street racing. Can you kind of share your thoughts on the bill that was just introduced to address that? And what's kind of the current status of street racing in Louisville?
So the question was about our focus on addressing illegal street racing in our community. We are focused on that issue. Cars are not meant to be raced on our streets. That is dangerous, that is disruptive, and we are not going to tolerate that. And I'm proud to report that last year, more illegal street racing cars were taken off the streets of our city than in any year in prior history to our city. We will continue this enhanced work to end illegal street racing in our city. Last year, I put forth the idea for the bill that's been introduced in Frankfurt that gives our officers additional tools to either crush cars that are confiscated that have been illegally street racing or to sell them off to other nonprofit organizations, but to make sure that those cars that are used for these destructive reasons are never used again. And so I support that work. I'm glad to have proposed the idea, and I look forward to working with colleagues in Frankfurt to pass that law.
In a stated city address, it stated that you were going to, whether the consent decree is signed on the 18th or not, you were going to move forward in honoring those provisions. Will there be an update as to, I suppose, which provisions and what that's going to look like in the future?
The question was about the future of the consent decree and my State of the City address, what I mentioned there. Right now, the status update on the consent decree is that the judge has asked for responses from all parties involved, including the city and the United States Department of Justice, by February 18th. The city will have a response on February 18th pursuant to the judge's request. And I just want to be very clear that regardless of what happens in these court proceedings, that the city of Louisville will continue to implement the reforms and improvements that are set forth in the consent decree. There should be no confusion about that. There should be no question about that. That has been our commitment since day one, and that continues to be our commitment. We have already taken action, even before the consent decree was signed last year with the Department of Justice. Chief Humphrey and his colleagues at LMPD were working on reforms and improvement, and those will continue. So we'll have an update, that we want this consent decree to be implemented. And so we will wait until the judge's ruling, and then we will respond accordingly depending on the judge's ruling. But I just want to be very clear that reform and improvements will continue, and it will be very clear what those reforms and improvement are as we move forward in our community.
Is there anything the mayor's office wants to address about RFG gasoline? I think it's inquired about this.
There was a question about RFG gasoline. Yes, for those who may not know, RFG is reformulated gasoline, and it has been part of our life in Louisville, Jefferson County for many years now. Last week, I sent a letter to Governor Beshear asking him to begin the process to remove the RFG designation from Louisville and Jefferson County. I believe that we are going to be in compliance with the federal standards based on improvement in our air quality over the years to have this designation removed. And I think it's important for that reason to show the signs of progress that we are making in our improved air quality. And also it's helpful to consumers, and it should bring the price of gasoline down throughout Jefferson County. So I'm proud to be in a position where we can request through Governor Beshear and ultimately the federal government that the RFG designation be removed from our city. It's good for our city. It's good for our residents who buy gas on a daily basis. Yes.
What's the current status of the city's anti-mask ordinance as we're seeing people kind of getting sick across the state? Do you support people wearing masks during this time to protect themselves as we're seeing that school districts are pivoting to NTI?
The question was about masks, the status of the mask ordinance, and wearing masks as well. We had some proposed amendments to the mask ordinance last year. Metro Council did not act on those at the time, so there is no further update on that at the moment. But as I said then, and as I will say now, if you have a health reason to wear a mask, please wear a mask. People who are wearing masks for legitimate health reasons should continue to wear those masks. And so that is an individual choice, whether it's by doctor's recommendation or otherwise. We continue to support individuals who are wearing masks for health reasons. With respect to the flu that's going around right now, I also want to encourage everyone, please get your flu shot. It's not too late. Join me. I did that a while back. And also wash your hands as often as possible. Pay attention to hygiene. That is another great way to stop the rapid spread of the disease, so that of the flu rather. We want to get all our kids back in school, learning on a daily basis and healthy. Thank you all very much. Have a great day.
All right, folks, thanks so much for staying with me. So the mayor talked about a number of things today, including giving some praise and recognition to the UofL women's volleyball team and their accomplishments. But he also talked about the heroism that we saw when a Louisville woman was running across the 2nd Street Bridge and noticed that something wasn't right and stopped and talked to a man who was in a mental health crisis. And because she stopped him and made time for him that day, she saved his life. She called 911. An officer responded. Today, we heard from that man's family who thanked her for stepping in and doing the right thing. So great to see that positive story and the positive impact of taking care of one another in our community. Of course, if you are ever in a mental health crisis, there are resources out there available to you. You can always call the Suicide Prevention Hotline, 988. That is a great resource. But we're going to put that together today for you, but wanted to bring you her recognition because she deserves it. And so does the LMPD officer who stepped in and the other person running to help in that situation. So great to see some positive news today. So I'm Myra Ansari. I'll see you later on Wave News. Have a great day.